Recently, I was watching YouTube, just like you are now, when I stumbled across this video by Hannah Morris where she sends a giant free solo boulder project. And the entire time I was watching the video, I couldn't help but think, can you dyno on it? So I did a little bit of research and found out that there was a wall just like that 2 hours away from me in Indianapolis. So I packed up all my climbing gear for a road trip to try the highest dyno I've ever done. Now, right when I walked in, I did notice this wall, it was bigger than I thought it would be. In the Hannah Morris video, the wall was 25 feet high. This one was 30 feet high. And while 5 feet isn't a big difference, it definitely makes a bit of a difference when you're falling. The second thing I noticed was these gyms definitely had a different amount of funding. Instead of a giant cushy pad that's specifically engineered to break falls from large heights, this gym had a foam pit. And while foam pits are normally associated with a good time, just family-friendly activities, they're not really designed to break falls from 30 feet. But even though I was nervous, I wasn't gonna let that stop me, because I've never failed a dyno in my life. So first thing, right when we got in, we had to sign a separate waiver to use the snake because, you know, it's significantly more dangerous than the rest of the gym. Due to how dangerous the snake is, the rules were pretty strict. No jumping into the foam pit, no goofing around on the wall, no jumping off the top of the snake. And they warned us that any violation of any of these rules will get you banned for life. So needless to say, I'm probably banned for life. Now, I didn't want to go straight into the big dynos right away. I wanted some time to, warm up, get a feel for the wall, just have a little fun. I definitely was not scared.
Yeah! Nice! I did that same thing, you sink into it.
After getting pretty comfortable dynoing on the wall, I decided to send one of the boulder problems going all the way up to the top of the snake. I wanted to feel what it felt like, being up at the very top of this thing. And I was immediately a little weirded out because all the grades for the boulders on it were like V3 to V5, which seemed really high for me. Like they were all basically just V0s, maybe V1 because it's overhung, but they were just handlebars. I also found it weird that they graded it with bouldering grades when it's pretty much unrecognizable as a boulder problem. It's definitely just a sport route at that point or a free solo project. I think part of the reasoning for this is they made the wall too high. I think 30 feet's a little too high, so they probably get nervous setting things that people might fall in compromised positions on, so they just set everything really easily. So to add a little bit of challenge to it, a little difficulty, I decided to try to campus my way all the way up to the top. Now I know what you're thinking, climbing stuff. Out of all the YouTubers that do climbing content, you are the weakest climber. What makes you think you could campus all the way up this thing? First of all, fuck you. Second of all, I have a secret weapon. Lately, I've been taking my training a little bit more seriously. I wanted to get a little bit stronger and kind of work on some of the things I was bad at in rock climbing. And thankfully, I found the Crimped app. Crimped is a free app with over 200 professionally created workouts designed to help you get stronger in whatever you want to in rock climbing. And I've never been much of an upper body guy. I've always had, kind of weak, spindly arms and strong legs. Part of the reason I like dynoing so much. But using the Crimped app, I was able to pick workouts that specifically targeted my upper body, like campusing workouts. And as you can see, they have had an extremely positive effect on my campusing abilities. Look at those bent arms. You might as well start calling me Chris Sharma.
Maybe just a little depressing,
Using my newfound strength abilities, I was able to campus my way to the very top of the snake. And if you want to take your training to the next level, you can try Crimped Plus, which adds multiple professionally created training plans and skill templates. I personally have been using the one-arm pull-up training plan, and I gotta say, it's brought these noodle arms from a 0 to, well, almost a hero. So if you want a chance to get Crimped Plus for life, enter the competition, the sweepstakes, in the description below. Win Crimped Plus for life. Winner will be chosen September 31st, so do it now. You don't want to miss out. It's free. And after using my newfound strength to campus the wall, I decided to take a fall from the highest point on the wall just to get a feel for it. And now that I had done literally everything else besides the big wall dynos that I came there to do, it was time to stop putting it off and try some dynos. So I decided to work my way up the wall, progressively doing higher and higher dynos until I reached the top of the wall.
Nice. Let's go.
But somewhere around 23 feet up on the wall, I definitely started to lose my nerve a little bit.
The leader of the church can't die now.
Now I know some of you are probably like, what are you possibly scared of at this point? You just campused up the entire thing and then took a fall from the highest point. What's wrong with doing a dyno? Well, there are a few differences I'd like to point out. First of all, when you're campusing, you're in full control the entire time. So you're really never at risk of falling, at least not in an uncontrolled way. When dynoing, all four limbs come off the wall, so if you don't catch anything, you fall back first, which leads to the second point. Falling back first is a lot scarier than falling feet first. And besides the fact that it's over 20 feet in the air, I'm also landing in a foam pit. Now, even though a foam pit will break your fall significantly better than something like concrete, there's still the issue that when you fall into a foam pit, you fall through the foam. And at the bottom of a foam pit is a little something called more concrete. Which, just to put in perspective, a couple years ago at TwitchCon, Adriana Chechik jumped off a platform about 1 foot over the foam pit, and when she landed in the foam pit, she broke her spine. So basically, with all this running through my head, I decided no more dynos. I was just too nervous, and I settled for doing a throw at the very top of the wall. Good enough. So later that night when I got home, I decided to start reviewing some of the footage, right? I wanted to see, how cool some of the dynos looked, how big they were, and I realized the wall didn't really look that big. Seeing it on camera, I was like, this just looks, like a slightly higher dyno than a regular bouldering wall. So I came to the conclusion that I was just being a wimp, and I needed to go back and do a real dyno. So a few weeks went by, and 2 days ago, I finally went back to the gym and realized that the wall was just as high as I remembered it. But I had just driven all the way back out to film more footage on this wall, so there was no way I was gonna back down. And I realized, as long as I don't land like on my head or something, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I see it. It's blurry, but I got it. I tried to zoom. Nice fall, dude. Where are you? You're totally upside down? Oh, that was a good fall, man.
That was the worst fall I've ever taken.
Oh.
I caught it.
Oh. Damn.
Holy. I fell just completely upside down. For those of you that can't fully comprehend the impact of falling 20 feet on your head, just listen to the sound from this clip when I fell feet first. So needless to say, after this fall, I was done. Yeah, my neck was hurting super bad. I was really dizzy. Pretty sure I had a mild concussion, and I was even debating going to the hospital, but right down the road is another gym that I've been to before that has an open bar in it, so I had to kind of pick between the two of those, and, you know, I made the responsible decision. So even though I could barely see straight, my neck was still killing me. Still actually is, it hurts right now. They had a comp recently at the gym. So when comps come, dynos come. So they had a bunch of dynos at the gym. And I was like, no way, I'm not gonna try every last one of these dynos. I even managed to scent one of the open boulders, which if you don't know how climbing comps work, there's beginner, intermediate, advanced, and then open, which is the highest category. Now I'm normally not close to being good enough to climb in the open category, but this is a dyno boulder, and my dyno climbing grade is significantly higher than my actual climbing grade.
Nice. Ow.
I even found another open boulder that had this awesome Lachey dyno on it, and I've only done one Lachey dyno before this in the past, so this was really cool for me. It actually felt really good. Felt pretty easy, but I still wasn't able to send the rest of the boulder because, as I said before, I am a dynoist.
Oh, I knew I was done. I couldn't keep grip on that.
I also found this really cool intermediate boulder and decided to add a little pizzazz by doing a completely unnecessary dyno at the end.
Not very graceful, but...
And finally, I decided I would end this video on my favorite boulder from that entire comp, which was an advanced boulder that required you to stand on a dual text volume to set up for a pretty beefy dyno.
That hurt.
So that was my experience in Indianapolis. Pretty wacky place, a lot going on. If you read my name in an obituary or something a couple weeks from now from some weird neck or head injury, just know the video that you're watching and laughing at is the video where it happened. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to try out the Crimped app. It's free. Click the link in the description. Try it out.